stir it up and do things our way. So if you wanna move, get out of our way.
Welcome, darlings. I'm getting lazy. I need to find new words. I'll be more British next week. Anyways, if you can't tell where I was going with that, welcome to Pretty Corrupt's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 1 Rewatch. Oh God, rewatch.
Close enough.
I sounded like a toddler. Rewatch.
I thought it was like rewrought. Like, oh, that's good. Yeah, rot. Okay, whatever. Rotten
you
hell.
don't think-
Rotten hell.
If you don't think your Lisa accent's up to snuff, go for Cedric's, because Cedric's kind of comes in and out. I'm not entirely sure what his accent is, to be honest.
We'll find out later that no one knows what Cedric's backstory was, but it
Like
wasn't the
you could
truth.
tell me he's British, you could tell me he's Spanish, you could tell me he's a number of like nationalities. No clue. His accent is all over the place.
He's like Dorit. He is a man of the world.
Mhm.
He was Dorit before Dorit was Dorit.
Yeah.
It's
And LVP cut out both of them.
Oh no! Like knowing that while going into this, knowing what you said about how LVP, how their relationship pretty much was over at that point, and she didn't like Cedric at all. It's so obvious now as these episodes go on that she's just over his shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like at the Villa Blanco, like she was just because he didn't show up on time. She is just over him.
She dug into him there, and that's where you could see the cute veneer was like that was that side. It wasn't so loving, and
Mhm. Mhm.
it's like, you drive my car, you live in my house, you show up on time. I'm sick of you. Like, should have done that in her accent. I'm sorry, I failed you guys.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's gonna take a star off of a review right there.
I mean, that's pretty much where the episode started, was Lisa's fundraiser at Villa Blanca for what was it, for the Children's Burn Foundation, which obviously very serious. I'm glad there were no big fights there, because that would have been super awkward. But Jordan, I immediately thought, I made a note immediately thinking of you, that how much you would have loved that event because of what Lisa said. She said, I invited as many wealthy women as I know. And I was like, oh my God, that Jordan would be in heaven, just heaven, surrounded by wealthy women.
Why do you think from this season I burrowed my way into, they can't get rid of me? No, I was like, oh, immediately when she said wealthy women, I started paying more attention to who was walking in that door.
And
Like,
I mean, maybe I'm
foundations.
misremembering, but I think like Faye, as her voice is, I invite as many wealthy women as I can. I think Faye showed up like right around then.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, Jordan would be in heaven.
Mm-hmm. I did love it
Faye
how
Resnick Part 2.
well, I loved it how Kyle was like, I'm not sitting with other women because I bought a table and I'm sitting with my friends. Like, she made a point to be like, I bought a table and I'm sitting with my friends. And she was sitting with her friends. And I recognized quite a few of them from later seasons, basically women that we've seen later on, but also specifically then I was sitting there and I recognized, because the woman, you don't see her very much, but the woman who was sitting to her, to Kyle's left, was her friend Lorene, who she lost last year. And really tore her up. That's like her bestest friend in the whole life.
Oh, that's her. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember that episode from the latest season. I didn't know that's who okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the taller blonde woman who was sitting to her left, you didn't see her as much because of the way the camera was angled, but I was like, oh, Lorene's there. Yep. I mean, so yeah, this is like, so I mean, I'll say that's because we dig into Camille a lot, because she's like, I don't just get along with women and Kyle has a lot of her own faults, but Kyle does have a very strong group of female friends that she has always had and she's kept, and that we do see again and again and again over the last 15 years.
These people go back to childhood, some of her friends. I mean, she really is a girl's girl in that way. I mean, now that definition has changed a little, but I mean, come on. It's especially even within the family, it's the sisters and the nieces and the cousins, and she has her girl. She really, and that's why I've always said throughout this show, she may not be the most dramatic or compelling housewife, but she's the glue that holds the show together because she naturally has groups of girlfriends, and that's who she is. Where Camille, can imagine a show centered around Camille.
Oh God,
yeah.
no!
Be her and Dee Dee.
No,
Because that's the thing. Like, you're right, because Kyle's the glue. She knows how to navigate women, not control women or be like the center. So she knows how to stir up drama. She knows how to let certain drama go. She knows how to like navigate those type of things. So absolutely, you're 100%.
And nary an e-cigarette among any of her friends. That entire table, not one.
I wonder if Lisa banned them from then on. She was like,
no more
e-cigarettes, no vaping, no e-cigarettes. Like when vaping came out, she's like, absolutely not. I had a bad experience with them once.
It was, well, sorry. Okay.
Oh, I was gonna say there was drama though at this fundraiser. Camille wasn't there physically, but she was there in spirit and text message.
She was trying to be the center of attention via text message.
Yeah, that was like an evil move. She didn't show up. She knew this was a charity event. And she let her absence be known, and then she dropped a bomb on Kyle.
I find Kim to be very relatable. The fact that she, and not great as a housewife, but in terms of a person, I'd be the same way. That Kim's like, I'm not going to that event. I am tired of these fights. I am just going to avoid it. And that's exactly what I would do. And it's exactly why I would last one season as a housewife. Because I'd be like, no, I'm not going. Oh, you're having a party at your house? No, I'm not going because you guys are going to start fighting. No, thank you. One thing at the I mean, I love that the whole beginning of the episode was a debriefing of the party from hell. It's like Mauricio learning about it and Paul learning about it and all that. But Faye talking about it at the table with Kyle and her friends. Faye actually, this made me guffaw, if you will. Faye actually said, that was one of the worst nights I've ever had in my entire life. Faye, I can think of one other night that might be worse. But no, yeah. If you say it's the worst night of your life, by all means, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'd even know the date of the other night that might be the worst in your life.
Both of these horrible nights have launched new careers for her.
Fair.
Very true.
Oh my god, I'm unsubscribing.
And then we get it because Camille has until the end, she really has no plot line because nobody wants anything to do with her. There was just a completely useless montage of her riding a motorcycle with Nick. Like now it's just getting to the point of ridiculous. Like why is he just there? You
know, I found out, I did some digging. I asked around. So this is from the inside. First of all, Nick wasn't that fond. You know how we were hinting that she was hitting on, like, maybe she wants you to think they're having an affair. When the divorce hits, Nick and his wife went with Kelsey. They took Kelsey's side.
Oh my God. You can see how uncomfortable it makes him every time she does it. When there are people around, he's just very uncomfortable. So you could see that. And then you know, not knowing what's going on with Kelsey on the other coast, you'd be like, how is Kelsey okay with this? But then you're like, oh, that's why Kelsey.
Yeah. If anything, I think he was friends with them because he was a up and coming actor or something. I think he was friends with them for the opportunities and everything. And when that divorce hit, he
knew which side his bread was buttered.
Well, and he was perfect for Kelsey because it was like the okie doke. Like Kelsey's, if people think that she's having the affair with Nick, then Kelsey having an affair on the other coast might not seem like a big deal, because then you could argue like, well, no, I'm only having this affair because I think my wife's having an affair with Nick. It's perfect for him. It's perfect cover.
Oh, that's right. Because he knew all along this was his divorce. Oh. I have heard another thing. Sorry, I've heard big allegedly is that it was a somewhat open marriage. That Camille's hands weren't clean either.
That does not surprise me.
I mean, there's been tons of hints, not only like, well, there's been a few during the season, but there's been hints before in their marriage and then during their divorce, obviously, that they were, not as conservative as their donations would make it seem like their bedroom is.
Mhm.
Like, that they are,
She's talked about toys that Kelsey liked used on him and things of that nature.
Go for it. 2 consenting adults, maybe 3 or 4. I don't know.
I don't make a point of thinking about the bedroom shenanigans of celebrities, but I can tell you right now, one I do not want to hear about is what Kelsey Grammer is doing in his bedroom. I do not want to hear about that.
No, I don't want to know about most of them anyway. But well, this is my question though: is Nick still married to his wife?
Yes, he is. Yeah, I don't think they were having an affair.
No. But I just feel like if I was Nick's wife, I mean, unless I knew like basically categorically, like exactly like what type of setup this was basically going on, it would be so uncomfortable for me to like go back and watch that, even if I knew, just to have people then questioning me, like, dude, strangers on the internet going, oh my gosh, what is he doing with his poor wife, and I'd be like, oh, I kind of know what's going on, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's a really hard situation to put your relationship through, so good for them for surviving it. That's what I'm gonna say.
Surviving Camille.
That's a reality show right there.
It's kind of cute when Kim and Taylor met for their manicures to work things out.
Yeah, they're manicure piece of cords.
But they didn't really have, like, I don't remember exactly what it was. That Kim just was her usual awkward self when they were talking about, like, we don't know why we keep fighting. And then Kim said something really what she thought was playful. I wish I could remember what it was. But then it cuts to Taylor. And Taylor, not only was Taylor looking at her like with staring daggers, she even went from smile to no longer smiling in the same shot. So it was they didn't really bury the hatchet. It was very, Kim's just so awkward. That's the problem.
And Taylor's looking at her like and it cuts to her confession. I noticed at some point her face started fading and she was just like squinting at Kim, like, what? Yeah. And then she cuts, she's like, I can't figure Kim out. She's like an enigma. Like, she was bizarre. That was honestly like the real Kim, though. I mean, she was kind of playful and all over the place and just like in her own, excited to be herself. Taylor was a little puzzled.
This isn't Beverly Hills.
Another look that Jordan, another one I noted that I was like, oh, Jordan probably loved that. And Taylor reaction is when the getting ready for the Roaring 20s party, which is the second big event of the episode, when Taylor stopped. Yeah, God, this wasn't exactly that, but they're just great. Gatsby parties are just the worst. Yeah, just the worst. And this wasn't, Roaring 20s is basically a Gatsby party, more or less.
And they go on. I'm sorry, I had to go back again because we'll have another Roaring 20s party and seasons later. That's the one in different season, different episode, but it's the house that led to Mauricio's lawsuit. But I was confused, like two of the same theme party in Beverly Hills, just not unforgivable.
It was when Taylor is with her stylist at the costume place, and the stylist said, "Now, are you okay wearing costume jewelry?" And Taylor had a look on her face like, "No." But then she's like, "Fine, I guess." But just that look was like, "Oh, Jordan would have loved that." She was physically shuddering at the thought of wearing costume jewelry.
I remember thinking the first time I saw that back in 2010, be like, I can't believe that's a question people get asked. Are you okay wearing costume jewelry? Because obviously I'm not dripping in diamonds. So I was like,
but of all the
oh.
housewives at that point anyway, like Taylor's background, you'd think, okay, she might be the one that, like Lisa, I totally get. Lisa's like, no. But Taylor came from, not a wealthy background. You'd think she might be okay with it, but that look on her face was like, oh, she's already so into this Beverly Hills lifestyle, she won't even do this for a night. Even though we find out at the party, all the women are wearing costume jewelry.
Yeah.
Like they make even Camille makes a point of saying, like, I'm wearing costume jewelry, my friend's wearing real jewelry. I think that was Camille. But I just, that look on her face was amazing. Just like, oh no.
But I think that's the whole trick, though, is that people who are more concerned with like, oh, I can't believe I'm wearing something fake, it's got to be real, are usually the people who have the least, or like Adrienne would be like, I'm fine wearing something that. Even Lisa, like, and Lisa has real diamonds, but she'd also be like, oh, this is fake, darling, except for her Louboutins.
A lot of LVP's jewelry was costume. I don't mean it in a way like she didn't have the real, like that giant ring is real. She has plenty of expensive jewelry, but security purposes and in general, when you suddenly see her with a giant ruby collar necklace to match her dress, she mixed and matched. I don't even think she was trying to pass it off. It's just a lot of people think she had the crown jewels, like everything was a $2 million but. So she was, like you were saying, Stacy, sorry, she was comfortable mixing and matching.
Yeah.
And if you're ever going to wear costume jewelry at Roaring 20s party, you kind of want era specific jewelry. You're not just going to wear all your fancy, modern jewelry. Like the only one who legit had era appropriate, more or less jewelry was Mauricio. He was showing off, like it was his grandmother or grandfather, I think, all these like actual pieces of jewelry from the 20s. Like that was the only legit thing.
Yep.
That got me really excited.
I know it did. I know it did.
I did think it was funny though. Sorry, to go back a little bit to the top of the show though, when all the women were like recapping for their husbands what happened. I mean, that's a setup because that they came home and immediately told their husbands.
Yeah.
But when Kyle was telling Mauricio, Mo said that he was like, I gotta meet this Allison.
I wrote that too. I wrote down lol. He's like, I think his exact words was, I would love to meet her.
I wrote lol too.
That's so funny. Amazing.
I did like with Mauricio and Kyle when they go to lunch, and he is so cheesy. So she's about to they go to lunch, husband and wife, middle of the day. She's about to break the news to him that Camille said she's firing him as a realtor over the fight. And he is so cheesy walking into that restaurant. It was like El Paseo. He's basically like waving to people on the patio. Ciao, my people will call your people.
No, even worse. He said, I owe you a phone call. Who says that? Who says I owe you a phone call?
He could have made it worse by just saying, we'll do lunch.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was, oh God, they're like arm in arm. He's in his suit. He really, really... I mean,
and then she goes, what's the salad that I like, honey? Oh, you know exactly you know everything that you like, Kyle. He knows nothing. You know everything. But at the lunch, that's when Kyle officially tells Mo that, Camille and Kelsey have fired him. Although we know she ran home crying and was like, I can't believe it. So they tell, but what I love is that Mo then calls Camille childless. And it's just priceless. Like, not childless. Oh my God, I can't even say it. Mo calls Camille childish. And that was priceless. I was like, yes, she's being childish. The entire, you just see that. I think that's one of the reasons we all hate her this season is because she's just being a child. Everything she does is just playing like childlike games with people. And you're like, hi, we all see it. We all know it. Like, grow up, play a better game.
Well, on top of it, she also insists she takes the high road and she's the mature one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what she was doing with that lunch with Adrienne the entire time. Like we have these dueling lunches, and Adrienne is sitting so annoyed.
Yeah. Yeah, Camille, she keeps bringing this up over and over and over, how she was verbally assaulted, how Kyle's always verbally assaulting her, and she's trying to make Adrienne make it seem like everybody's attacking her. She's the victim, and Adrienne's like, "You're both children." Adrienne actually said, she's like, "I would actually put you both on opposite sides of the room because you're both children."
Did you see the look on Camille's face when that happened? Camille's telling Adrienne, so you just need Kyle, just acts out. Sometimes you just want to slap her on the wrist. And Adrienne says, I wanted to put both of you in the timeout.
Yeah.
And Camille goes stone cold.
The way that Adrienne was kind of doing, I was like, Adrienne's a middle child, right? And so I had to look it up, and I was like, yes, she is the middle of 5 children, 4 of which are boys. So there's 2 boys above her, 2 boys below her. She's right in the middle. I was like, she knows how to thread that needle. Plus she's a Virgo too. I was like, she knows how to thread that needle so well. I'm gonna be surprised if she's a Libra rising too. She's like a peacemaker. She is a peacemaker. It was so funny because I think Camille tried to call herself a peacemaker, and then it was like, no, girl, you are not a peacemaker at all. And then at the end, Camille's like, I don't want dessert, which is fine. But then I just thought this was interesting because another reason that I find Camille and Alexis, from OC, very similar, that Adrienne decides to order a cappuccino, and it's all of a sudden. It wasn't like Camille was like, oh, that sounds really good. Actually, I'll have a cappuccino. She was like, it was kind of like, oh, is that what we're doing? Oh, okay, that's what I need to do. Okay, I'm going to have a cappuccino too. It was this whole I don't know who I am type of thing. So I guess you're older than me. You have more money than me. You have more power than me. So I'm going to follow your lead. I thought I was being because Camille did not need to have a cappuccino. She could have easily just sat there and drank water and not had dessert or anything else. And Adrienne would have been fine with that. But it was just the look on her. You're talking about how when Adrienne said, I would put you both in the corner, she went stone cold that Adrienne wasn't agreeing with her. And instead of just kind of holding her own, it was like, oh, you don't agree with me on no dessert. I guess I have to have a cappuccino now. Okay. And so it's an unattractive thing in life. And I'm not saying it's an excuse for Kelsey to cheat on her or anything like that. But I think that's what drives wedges in any type of relationship is, not having your own sense of self.
Yeah. She lived through him vicariously in his shadow.
It was funny that Adrienne even ordered the cappuccino because she just wanted to get out of there. She clearly and then she came up and she's like, kind of just looked at her watch. She's like, I gotta go pick up the kids. She's just making up any excuse she could think of. And then Camille's like, oh, so are we done? Oh, we're done. Okay. So there was, yeah. She might as well Adrienne might as well just picked up her phone being like, oh, I got to take this. Cause she's just like, I want to leave right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to go over somewhere else.
I have to be anywhere but here.
Yeah. She might as well just said, I have to leave because I don't want to be here anymore.
Filming is done. I'm only have to be here contractually for an hour and a half, so I'm out of here.
If we flash forward though to the 20s party happened, came together. That was the big trying to get everyone together in this party. And besides actually getting Kyle and Camille together, we see this was another one the fashion show a lot of friends of. Again, we had Dwight, we had Linda Thompson, the blonde Faye Resnick, the glue that keeps pop culture together. But this one introduced us to another one who's now such a big deal, the Lady Whisperer, Justin Sylvester. I don't know if he goes by the Lady Whisperer anymore because now he's a big deal newscaster. But
that's
Justin
his handle,
Sylvester,
still, I think.
Yeah, but he used to after this show, he was introduced as Kyle's assistant, which he was, and then that led to another show. It lasted only like a few episodes. I watched it. It was called like Nannies 90210 or Beverly Hills Nannies. Short-lived, one season. He was one of the nannies assistants to celebrities. It showed the flip side of Housewives, basically. And he literally called himself the Lady Whisperer, but now he's on like national TV. So he's done well. But did you catch something Camille said before we get into Camille and Kyle hashing it out here? So they're hugging it out, and Kyle's like, meet Justin, the Ladysitter. And Camille looks at him, and keep in mind he's a young African-American man. She goes, I bet you could teach us a few dance moves.
Oh God, yes. I was like,
it wasn't malicious, but I was like watching the rich, obnoxious white blonde woman say that. She's like, I bet you can dance. Show us some dance moves. I was like, what, wait, Camille, he hasn't, where did you get the idea he could dance? We haven't seen him dancing yet. What indicated to you?
And then, you know, as expected, who was the one person that did not come in costume? Russell.
Yeah.
Russell just wearing his regular outfit. And this was where the first episode where you finally see that, oh, Taylor hates him. Because she didn't even do, like, it was the awkward, she was doing the double kiss, which is weird to do your spouse, but she didn't even do that. She's like, no, I'm just done. I'm over this. And he did no costume. He has no care. He's just the worst.
Somebody puts a hat on him, right? And then he's like, don't I look something? And everybody's like, no.
And then they show the shots of him awkwardly standing with like Mauricio and with Paul. Like he's just so awkward.
Mauricio, who can be friendly with literally anybody. We see him go up to Camille, who just fired him, and is like, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. With Russell's like, how's business going? Mauricio's like, fine, you. He's just one word answer is fine, you, cool, you. Even he couldn't like warm up to him and make a conversation work.
I have to say, I think that my favorite part of the episode was actually the whole like Giggy montage. Like let's rip Giggy. Yeah, his little alopecia Pomeranian. And like it was like bathing him and putting him in his clothes and all this stuff. And I was like, there was part of me that was like, I feel like Nate needs a Giggy. Like you would do well with like a balding Pomeranian, like
that just dressed up in sweaters. Yeah,
like you would be like, I feel like you and Ken Todd are kindred spirits in that way with dogs. Like
I agree.
You are. I love it. You guys should be pen pals, you and Ken Todd.
All right, let's get this ball
rolling. You could
rolling.
DM him.
Yeah, you could. You would share pics of pooches. Pooch pics instead of...
I mean, just DM Ken and be like, hey, Ken, can we be dog pen pals?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
My friend thinks that we both love dogs in the same way, not a weird way. So
maybe I could move in and be the new Cedric.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be less dramatic, except for your pratfalls.
That's true. That is true.
more of a homeowner's insurance liability.
That is true. That is very true.
A lot of bills.
I'm probably better off living with Kim, I think. There's probably a lot of falling in that house.
Yeah. No comment.
Yeah. I was like, wow. One last thing about this: when Camille and Kyle hug it out, they're like, let's start fresh. We just have this way where we want to be friends, but something goes awry, and it's just sort of like they hug it out. And another thing I learned about it that I wanted to explain is Camille went into the show not understanding Housewives exactly, and that's where you see her a few episodes in become very the Kelsey thing. she suddenly became paranoid and a little like, you're after me, like with Kyle and taking everything the wrong way. She thought it was a show kind of about friendship. She wasn't an expert on Real Housewives at that point. And so she went in a little innocent and thinking Kyle was going to be her new best friend. And then after a little filming, it clicked that, oh no, we're all scheming. Everyone is scheming and everyone is backstabbing. And that's why things go awry between them. I'm not saying Camille is innocent, but she thought it was a show about friends. And Kyle's an expert. She's like one of the longest. She knew right away, like, we need to go after each other. And that's where I think it's kind of like for Camille, a big wake-up call mid-season, and that's why I think she had that overreaction with Kelsey and Kyle, because she started realizing everything could be used against me. These people aren't my friends. And that's why she's like always on the defense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, LVP calls it perfectly at the end. She said, they made up, but did they really make up? Like, I don't like, she knows, because LVP also is going to stir the pot. Because LVP knows nobody's really friends. We're on a TV show. We got to keep this up, at a certain standard.
Yeah, Camille. There's in no way I'm trying to portray Camille as innocent here, like a deer caught in headlights. She just had the wrong vibe going in, and then when she suddenly becomes a bitch a few episodes in, it's because it clicked for her. These people are not my friends. And Kyle will be the one to take her,
But she doesn't know how to how to play the friends either. Like that I need to play friends off of each other, and I've got to keep certain people close. And she doesn't know how to play. That's the thing. It's that old trope of she's playing checkers while everybody else is playing chess.
That's a good way to put it. Anything else fun happened this week?
Well, I went to the Emmys party. Well, the pre-Emmys party before the Creative Arts Emmys. So just so people know, if they didn't hear on Tuesday, your girl is a member of the Television Academy. So the last 2 weeks are like Emmys weeks. So the Creative Arts Emmys are on Saturday. We're on Saturday. September 7th, and then the main Emmys are on the 14th, and the big fun Emmys, the showy Emmys where all the actors are and the ones that you really like to see. But the Creative Arts Emmys are like what I'm a part of, like casting people, stunt performers, reality shows, production design, costume design, all of that like back stuff that like we're basically the meat of Hollywood is. So and there's like tons of it. So there's 3 nights actually of like pre-nominee parties and stuff like that. And I'm currently working on one of the shows that is nominated for best casting for a reality TV show. So Squid Game, the challenge. But yeah, anyway, so I got to go to an Emmy party, and that was fun. And I wanted to sleep in my makeup, but it was fun. I was like you got to take these pictures. They're like, you can't stand in front of the Emmy statue. I was like, oh, okay. All right, Miss Thang. I won't
You mean you couldn't block it with yourself?
Nope, you couldn't block it with yourself. Yeah.
Who are they to tell you?
The Television Academy. That's who they are.
Tell them I'm the trophy, and I'm here to be a trophy. Why?
I mean, I was dressed up like one. I was like, I'm here to be admired. People, there we go.
I mean, that would be like going to a Kathy Hilton party and her saying, "You can't take a picture in the foyer. Sorry." No. That's why you're there.
Exactly. But no, I mean, you got to take pictures like with Big Emmy, but you just couldn't stand you had to stand next to it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, you couldn't block it.
I mean, it makes sense, but that's interesting.
You had to be very respectful, very demure, very mindful of the Emmy.
They gave us free parking. They gave us free food. They gave us free drinks. Like, nice. It was nice. It was very classy. It was very upscale. It was hotter than hell outside. And so I was lucky that my makeup, that they kept it very air conditioned in there. So it was very nice. But anyway, if you want to hear more or see more about this, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, because we're trying to hit 500 subscribers by Halloween, and I think we're going to make it. And if we make it before then my next goal for us is 1,000 by New Year's. That would be amazing for that. But also you can catch more of our stuff on. Tell them where they can find us, Jordan.
OnlyFans. No. Make sure to hit us up. Instagram and TikTok at Pretty Corrupt Podcast and Twitter at Pretty Corrupt One. Share with your agents, managers, frenemies,
dog sitters,
yeah.
Yep. Everybody who's important. Your hairdressers, Glam by Pam, makeup artists, everybody.
Your Nick, whatever version of Nick you have.
Your divorce attorneys, Laura Wasser. Always a fan of Laura Wasser. Yep. 100%.
Well, on that note, how do you say goodbye in English and British? Top of the morning. Cheerio, darling.
Cheerio's probably closer. Yeah.
We just lost all of our UK audience. Like they just said, nope, done, unsubscribe, block.
How do you say goodbye in England? By saying the cliched hello in Ireland, evidently.